Most people ignore the first warning sign, a knock that sounds slightly off, a message from someone they don't recognize. And that's exactly how both of these true stories begin, small enough to dismiss, but unsettling enough to linger. The first happened to a man traveling for work who checked into a quiet lodge-style hotel after a long day of driving through rural Missouri. The place felt normal, almost too normal, and he couldn't help noticing he hadn't seen a single other guest on his floor. Around 11:30 p.m., while answering emails at the desk, he heard hurried footsteps in the hallway, followed by the muffled sound of wheels rolling over carpet. So he cracked his door and saw two paramedics halfway inside a room 3 doors down, working over a man who looked to be in his 60s lying stiff on a stretcher, unsettled but assuming it was a routine emergency. He shut his door, only to step out again minutes later and see chest compressions being performed in the hallway, while a heart monitor emitted one long, continuous tone before an EMT sharply told him to return to his room. Close to 1 a.m., just as he drifted toward sleep, 3 soft, deliberate knocks landed on his door. Not aggressive, not rushed, just intentional. And after a minute of silence, the same 3 knocks came again, louder this time. When he checked the peephole, the hallway was empty, but as he stepped back, the handle slowly pressed downward like someone gently testing the lock, and the thin strip of light beneath his door suddenly disappeared as if a person was standing inches outside, blocking it completely for several long seconds before the light returned and something faint brushed across the wood. The next morning, he asked the front desk about the medical emergency, only to be told no ambulance had been called and the room 3 doors down had been vacant since the day before. His room number was 312. The incident happened 3 doors away, and the knocking came in sets of 3, twice, and he left immediately, later admitting he's grateful he never heard a third set. The second story proves blocking someone doesn't always mean they're gone. When he was 18 and living at university, a random man messaged him on Instagram, beginning with harmless small talk that quickly shifted into invasive questions. Before sending a photo of himself, pale skin, messy brown hair, light blue eyes, heavy build, staring blankly into the camera, and during a joking round of truth or dare, the stranger casually asked how he was enjoying university despite him never mentioning school online. Shaken, he blocked the account and moved on, until 2 years later when a new profile followed him with a different username but the exact same face, flooding him with obsessive messages that swung between friendliness and anger, forcing another. Block and privacy settings tightened across every platform. Weeks later, while walking home alone from a train station at night, he heard footsteps behind him, and when he stopped walking, they continued for a few seconds more, prompting him to turn slowly under a streetlight and see the same man standing several yards back, staring directly at him before calmly greeting him by name as if they were old acquaintances. He ran without looking back, fumbling his keys at his front door while expecting the man to round the corner at any moment. But police who searched the area found no one. Both stories started with something easy to dismiss: a quiet knock, a simple follow request. And that's what makes them terrifying, because real danger rarely announces itself loudly at first. It tests the handle, sends another message, follows a little closer, and by the time you realize it isn't harmless, it might already be too close. So if something ever feels slightly off, even in a way you can't explain, trust that instinct, because sometimes that subtle warning is the only one you get. And if you want more true stories like these, make sure you're subscribed, and let me know in the comments what small moment ever gave you a feeling you couldn't shake.